Jesse, see here, and today's movie review is November 25th, the day he chose his own fate. Directed by Kōji Wakamatsu. It's a 2012 Japanese drama film, and it's about Yukio Mishima, one of Japan's greatest and most celebrated novelists, who created his own private army, and then he took a commandant hostage and called upon the assembled military. And then he commits suicide inside the Tokyo headquarters of the Japanese Ministry of Defense. And it's pretty much about how he became, like, from novelist to, you know, like a dude that caused controversy that echoes to this day, according to IMDb. The only good thing that I could think of that I could say about this movie is that it gives you a sliver of slivers of how life was back in 1970 of Japan, of a certain group of how people still believe that the Japanese emperor should be restored to his divine status. And that's pretty much it. The rest of the movie was a bore fest of people just sitting around talking and never really getting to the point of what they're trying to do. Because Yukio Mishima talks about how he should fight the communism, but he never talks about how they would actually do it. They sit around, there's no actual outdoor sets in this movie, which was sort of surprising. Except for one, there was like this training military camp, and everything else was indoors, and it was always the same locations, and location-wise, really, it was kind of pretty boring, actually. So there's a lot of people in this film that support his rally, and he rallies them up, and he just really doesn't give it clear what his ideology is totally about. He just talks about how he wants to bring back samurais, and that anyone that's assimilating to the current standards of government should be ashamed of themselves. And pretty much, he was like the minority of his thinking, pretty much. As you can see, I'm having trouble like talking about this film because it wasn't really that clear about what was trying to convey. Just like this movie review, all I can say that this movie was boring and it was bad and it could have been done so much better. Also, they use a lot of like historical footage of like the actual things that happen, and I would say sometimes they go overboard and it's just like, no. There's this one scene where it could have been totally epic, where he makes this grand speech about his ideology, and he's on top of like this headquarters and he's just shouting down, and there's like a lot of noise in the background, and then when they shoot like the crowd scenes, they're all historical shots of footage, and it just really breaks that immersion for me, where it's like this guy's just talking, not even with a loudspeaker, yet people are super loud downstairs, and it's just like, so how is this real? Because that totally felt like it was shot on set and totally did not have any immersion for me. And I'm just gonna ramble and don't know what I'm gonna talk about, but I just gonna say that this movie was not cool. So I'm gonna stop here because there's nothing much to talk about except this movie was just boring. Like, you can't convey your thoughts straight. I was confused most of the movie. Anyway, that's pretty much just not really a review, more like a statement of just don't watch this film. 11/25, the day he chose his own fate. See ya.